Welcome to the bunker. Welcome to the Renegades of Puck podcast. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier, and before we get started on the no half step and season opening hockey coverage, I've got to direct your attention to renegadesofpuck.com. Once you go to renegadesofpuck.com, you'll learn everything you need to know about the Renegades of Puck. It is the gateway to the Renegades of Puck. Once you're visiting our home website, you can click on that merchandise tab right there, and you can check out all the things we have in our online store. Of course, you'll find our classic logo t-shirt and our Pride logo t-shirts. You'll find our special event t-shirts like I'm wearing right here, and you're going to find so much more than that. Wall art, throw pillow, socks, and so many more gimmicks. I can't even begin to get to all of them right here. As a matter of fact, we've got a brand new line of pet items, so check that out in our online store. We've sold out, so you can buy in. Appreciate each and every one of you for making a purchase in our online store. Social media is a critical component to what we are doing here, and we would appreciate your support in each and every one of those platforms. Or if you just have a particular platform you prefer, you can find us right there. You can search Renegades of Puck on any social media platform. As you can see by the graphic on your screen, we are everywhere. You can find us anywhere you need to look. When it comes to podcasts, you can find us on YouTube. Of course, that's where you can find Renegades of Puck TV. When it comes to the straight audio podcast, you can find that on virtually every platform out there. Google, Spotify, Stitcher, that's just a couple names right there. You can find the Renegades of Puck everywhere. Something we were unable to do at the beginning of last season, we are now at that level at the beginning of this season. So we would appreciate your support on each and every one of these platforms. It doesn't take you but a second. It doesn't cost you anything at all, but it goes a long way to helping the Renegades of Puck build exactly what we want, which is a community built on positivity and hockey coverage and no half-stepping. Venmo, that's how you can become a partner of the Renegades of Puck. You can scan the QR code that's currently on your screen, or you can just go to Venmo and search Renegades of Puck. Thanks to generous Renegade donations, we have been able to pull off some incredible feats over the last year since we have started operating here from the bunker. The Renegades of Puck Cookout was an incredible showing by the Renegades of Puck, and I thank each and every one of you for the significant donations that you made to helping us not only put on that event, but help us start planning our next events. Become a partner of the Renegades of Puck by going to Venmo. I sure do appreciate each and every one of you for doing that. Stick taps, love, and respect to each and every one of you. Now, it's time for the no half step in hockey coverage, so let's get to it. It's time for operation number 662. That's right, show number 662 for the Renegades of Puck. The Nashville Predators start the day with a record of 1-0 and first place in the Central Division. Matter of fact, they're first place in the Western Conference and first overall in the NHL. When you have a small sample size, it's fun to play with the numbers. We'll do that joke a couple more times as we're going along. For the Nashville Predators, their next game, of course, is the second of back-to-backs against the San Jose Sharks as part of the Global Series. Once they wrap up this game, they will head on home to have the home opener against the Dallas Stars on Thursday, and then we'll face off against the Dallas Stars again on Saturday, but this time in Dallas. On the 18th of October, the Nashville Predators will host the LA Kings and then turn around and go back on the road immediately on the 20th into Columbus to face off against the Blue Jackets, coming back home on the 22nd to face off against the Philadelphia Flyers. Now, for the Nashville Predators and the San Jose Sharks, this being the second meeting of the season, the Nashville Predators and the San Jose Sharks' first meeting, we will recap fully coming up here in just a couple of moments. These two teams will not meet again until February the 23rd, when the Nashville Predators will go to San Jose to close out the regular season series. Now, for the San Jose Sharks, they're 0-1, and yes, they're last in the Pacific, but they have a heck of a beginning of the season schedule to come up, and that's going to be tough for a team that's just basically trying to cut the deficit or figure out what their roster is all about. Friday, they will be at home to take on the Carolina Hurricanes, and then Saturday, the Chicago Blackhawks, so back-to-backs before heading on a northeast road trip that is definitely not going to be enjoyable. The Islanders, the Rangers, the Devils, the next three games for the Sharks right there. Taking a look inside the numbers for these two teams, NHL ranks, well, there's no reason to have any ranks. The Nashville Predators are first in the league in goals for. There's only so many times I can make the joke. The Preds have 4 goals in the season. They've given up 1. They have 32 shots on goal for the season. They've given up 31 against. Power play is 0 for 4 on the season with a percentage of 0, and the penalty kill is 4 for 4. Taking a look on the other side of the ledger for the San Jose Sharks, they have 1 goal for. They've given up 4 against. Shots 4 on the season, 31 shots against, 32. Their power play also 0 for 4. Their penalty kill also 4 for 4. We take a look at the statistics, and again, limited resources and sample size here, but for the Nashville Predators side of things, there are some interesting things to point out immediately. But I'm going to start on the side of the San Jose Sharks because it's going to be very quick. Hertl has a goal. Cunnin, Meyer have assists. Reimer is 28 out of 31 on the season. He's given up 3 goals, and he has a .903 save percentage. On the Nashville Predators side of the statistical ledger, Sherwood, of course, as we expected. No, only Kyle Perkins predicted that this was going to happen right out of the gate, and he was 100% correct. Sherwood, with a goal and an assist in the first game of the season, is leading the Nashville Predators currently with 2 points. Matt Duchene, Ellie Tolvanen, and Nino Niederreiter all have 1 goal, and then assists. I'm just going to give you the list because it's really not that many. Ekholm, Mcdonough, Cole Smith, his first assist, his first NHL point. Glass, Fabro, Granlund, Forsberg, all with assists in the first game of the season. UC Saros went 30 out of 31. 1 goal against, .968 save percentage from that game. So for the Nashville Predators, an impressive first effort to start the season. And in the situation where you're going to go back-to-back in less than 24 hours, no, there is no travel at play, but it is still difficult to open the season with a back-to-back less than 24 hours in between. So for the Nashville Predators, an excellent job of getting the lead and strangling the clock there in the third period. Again, we'll recap every minute of that game coming up in just a couple of moments. So for the Nashville Predators, an opportunity to perhaps turn around and flip the same lineup. I'm sure there will be some minor adjustments, but overall, the Nashville Predators, when it comes to an NHL game and effort, this was medium to not that difficult of a game for the Nashville Predators. Tough first period, and then things eased up in the second and third. The Nashville Predators put this thing away without too much problem. We're going to talk about all these concepts and more with the Renegades of Puck as we go throughout the episode. So again, appreciate each and every one of you for joining me here in the trenches as the host and captain of the Renegades of Puck, Crazy Charlie Saunier. I sure do appreciate each and every one of you. Stick taps, love, and respect to each and every one of you joining us today. Now, let's get into the Rebirth Sports full game recap. Rebirth Sports, you've seen me wearing the home, road, and third jersey on set here in the bunker plenty of times. Well, you're seeing them on the screen right now. Don't forget, it's hoodie season. You go outside this morning, you feel those 45-degree temperatures. It's getting colder every morning. In the Renegades of Puck, for the first time ever, we have hoodies for sale. We're looking to close the sale out on the 15th of October, so get me your information. You can check out more about Rebirth Sports by going to rebirthsports.com. You can also find them on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Rebirth Sports. They take visions, make them a reality. They are hockey tailors, and they are simply incredible people. Sure do love being in partnership with Rebirth Sports. So again, check out all that merch and get your info into me here as soon as possible. We go all the way back to, well, I mean, just a few minutes ago because the game just wrapped up, but it was October the 7th of the year 2022, and the Nashville Predators were taking on the San Jose Sharks in the Czech Republic as part of the Global Series. John Hines deploys his opening day lines the following way: Forsberg, Granlund, and Duchene. That was expected. Niederreiter, Johansson, and Sherwood. That was not necessarily expected, but training camp is what bore this line. And so far, so good. Trenton, Sissons, and Janot, better known as the Herd line. Cole Smith, Glass, and Tolvanen on your fourth line. Yossi and Carrier make up your first D pair. Ekholm and Mcdonough your second. Boyetsky and Fabro make up your third D pair. And UC Saros gets the start in net as expected. We are just 13 seconds into the game, and we have a Granlund redirect that's stopped by Reimer. It's the first shot of the game. Then 36 seconds in, Saros stops Meyer's long shot, the first shot against Saros on the season. At 1:01 of the first period, Sherwood has his first goal of the season with some rebound jam off of an Ekholm shot. Mcdonough also picking up assists as the two defensemen pass the puck out there by the blue line. Then Sherwood picks up that goal, giving the Nashville Predators a 1-0 lead. At 5:43 of the first period, Reimer comes up with a save on Duchene. Forsberg crashing the net hard. A good little give and go on the zone entry. 6:33 of the first period, Johansson off the box. 2 minutes for slashing in the offensive zone. It was a light call, but you get the stick up around the gloves and the hands, and it's probably going to get called, especially early in the season. They're always calling things way too heavy at this time of the season. They'll lighten up here in about 10 games. UC Saros comes up with a huge save on the bank, but Hertl is able to score his first goal of the season. San Jose wins the battle in the slot. Hertl gets the loose puck and finishes high over UC Saros, tying the game up at 1 apiece. And that arena absolutely erupted. A great backstory. Thomas Hertl used to play in that building, so it was nice to see him get that moment and get that opportunity. But the Nashville Predators are going to have to shut this down quickly because the San Jose Sharks are gaining momentum. 9:12 of the first first period, Roman Yossi's off to the box, 2 minutes for high sticking, trying to get positioned and shift the stick to the other side. He clips the Sharks player and ends up in the box. Couture hits the outside of the post from a sharp angle. 13-30. UC Stars comes up with the save on Lindblom on the 2-on-1 plus the rebound opportunity. 14-38. UC Stars comes up with a save on Carlson's long shot. 15-40. Stars pounces on the loose puck. It's the first scrum after the whistle of the season, and good for the Nashville Predators. It took way too long for the officials to blow this play dead. UC Stars had that puck covered for a solid 7-8 seconds before they finally acknowledged it and blew the whistle, and that's what led to the scrum afterwards. San Jose, though, they have a lot of momentum at this point. They're winning the battles. They're getting the pucks towards the net, and ever since the Preds started taking penalties, San Jose has taken over this game. 17-35. Hurdle hits the post. 17-54. Reimer comes in with a save on Yossi, crashing down from the blue line. 18-23. Reimer comes in with a save on Forsberg on the back door. If he could have elevated this puck, he would have found success, but he was unable to, and Reimer is always going to have the bottom layer of the ice locked down. So the Nashville Predators are able to generate just a little bit of momentum there before the end of the first period. We go to the intermission, tied at 1 apiece. San Jose out shooting Nashville 14-11. We are into the second period. Eeli Tolvanen's got his first goal of the season. Just like in the first period, the Nashville Predators score immediately in the second period. He goes glove side high for the snipe from the left circle. Glass and Smith pick up assists on this for Cole Smith, his first NHL point. Glass went over and got the puck for him. Incredible moment, already gelling as brand new line mates. Tolvanen gets his first goal of the season, and it's great to see Eeli Tolvanen using that incredible shot that we know he has. He's a sniper, and now he's on the fourth line, which could make him even more dangerous. Nashville holds a 2-1 lead in this game. 2:09 of the second period. Boyetsky versus Gajevich. 5 minutes each, and Boyetsky definitely gets the win in this tilt. Good heavyweight bout to open the season. 2:34 of the second period. We see Sherwood off to the box. 2 minutes for puck over the glass. UC Stars comes up with a great save on Meyer, but other than that, the Nashville Predators are able to succeed on the penalty kill. Low event hockey breaks out after that PK for about 8 minutes. We hit the 10-12 mark, and Reimer comes up with a save on Janot, plus some jam, plus scrum after the whistle. Good to see people starting to wake back up in this period. 10:44 of the second. Reimer comes up with a save on Duchesne, with Granlund working the net front hard, paying the price. 11:03. Benning's off to the box. Now remember, Matt Benning is now a part of the San Jose Sharks. So when I say Benning off to the box, 2 minutes forward delay of game, this is good for Nashville Predators and their fan base. Tolvanen was on the pressure, forcing Benning to make the play. First unit very strong with pressure for the power play by the Nashville Predators. Reimer is able to hold strong and come up with a couple of good saves. 14-10 of the second period. The net gets knocked off before Sissons is able to put the puck in. There's no argument from anyone, and this is because throughout the entire game, the net was having difficulty there at the post points where it meets the ice. They had to drill out the holes a couple of additional times, and it just simply was a difficulty for everybody throughout the game. That's why there was simply no argument. Nobody wanted to point out what was going on with the ice issue anymore. It was very obvious to anybody who was watching and paying attention. Nets got knocked off in this game, I think somewhere 8-9 times possibly. So Sissons did put the puck in the net, but of course it does not count because the net was clearly knocked off. 15-17 of the second period. Nino Niederreiter's got his first goal of the season, first goal as a Nashville Predator. I love this play. Sherwood chips the puck there at center ice off the wall over to Fabro, who carries the puck over the blue line, who dishes to Niederreiter for the finish. Nashville Predators couldn't certainly have a 3-1 lead in this game and are looking very good. Nino Niederreiter paying off already as a big free agent signing, coming in, getting his first goal of the season. 17:55, Reimer stops Johansson on the breakaway. Again, if Johansson could have gotten the puck up off of the ice just a little bit more, he would have found success. Reimer is so big and long that he easily covers up the bottom portions of the ice. Mcdonough is going to talk about that here coming up tomorrow. He's not going to be on this episode, but he'll be talking about the wrap-up of the goaltenders over the weekend. I know he's going to point that out a couple of times. We at the end of the second period, the Nashville Predators are out shooting San Jose now 24-22. So the Nashville Predators have 13 shots on goal in the second period. That's a much better effort than they had in the first period, and they have now taken over the effort and the momentum completely in this game. We go to 2:57 of the third period, and Luke Cunnin, now again no longer a Nashville Predator, now a San Jose Shark, goes off to the box. 2 minutes for interference, but on the ensuing faceoff, Granlund's off to the box. 2 minutes for cross-checking. That's going to lead to a 4-on-4 for one. Look, this is going to lead to a whole lot of penalties and a whole lot of special teams, and none of it's really going to produce much of anything. There's a goalie interference call on San Jose, and that's a 5-on-4. The first unit looked good for a minute, and then there was lots of zone time, but the Nashville Predators were really looking to just kill some time off. Reimer did have to come up with one big save on glass. fast before the end of those power play sequences, but that ate up about the first half of the period with all of these penalties that were taken in succession. 9:29 of the third period, Nieder's off to the box, 2 minutes 4 high, sticking on Matthias Ekholm. Reimer has to come up with a save on Jeannot plus some jam. We see an empty net goal from Matt Duchene right here at the end of the game, and the Nashville Predators finish this one off 4-1. The third period was actually quite a clinic by the Nashville Predators. Getting the empty net goal was just the ending of that. They did a great job of shutting down the San Jose Sharks, and as a matter of fact, they were able to save a considerable amount of energy for the next game, which is coming up in less than 24 hours. Preds take the 4-1 victory in the opening game of the NHL season. They outshoot the San Jose Sharks 32-31. So the Nashville Predators were behind the 8 ball a little bit in the first period, evened it up and moved ahead in the second period, and then put the thing away in the third period without any real problems. It was a good game to open the season for the Nashville Predators, who are now 1-0 on the season, and tomorrow they will face off against this same San Jose Sharks team again. What adjustments will be made, who will get the start net, and how will the Nashville Predators approach the San Jose Sharks going into the second game in less than 24 hours apart. We'll talk about it all with the Renegades of Puck coming up in just a moment. UC Saros was 31 out of 32 in this game, 13 of 14 in the first period. He held strong when needed and came up with a couple of really big saves in the first period. When the Nashville Predators took a couple of penalties and the Preds were shorthanded, Saros had to come up big on a couple of those. San Jose had seized the momentum, and due to UC Saros being consistent back there and otherworldly with his edge work, again, knocked the post off a couple of times because he was pushing off as hard as he was, but UC Saros seems to be 100% healthy, seems to have all of his lateral movement and the edge work and all of the explosion back as we expected after last season's ankle injury that prevented him from playing against the Colorado Avalanche in the first round of the playoffs. So 31 out of 32 overall for the game. He held strong and he did a great job, and as the game went along, the pressure on him became less and less, but his performance was still extremely important and significant, and he now has his first victory of the season for the Nashville Predators. Who starts tomorrow? Well, I think it's Lankinen. Lankinen put in a really strong game against SC Bern on this trip. He's already gotten himself acclimated, and I think that the Nashville Predators are going to want to get him on the ice and start to let him prove himself. If he's truly going to be the backup for this team, they're going to have to get him in the games. This is exactly why Big Save Dave did not work out. The Preds coaching staff did not have the confidence to play him the number of games that are necessary to be an effective backup in this league. So I think it is going to be Lankinen getting the start in this game against San Jose. Let's talk about some other things that happened in this game. Sherwood, we have to talk about it. 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 points. He now leads the team in scoring. He worked hard on every shift, and he earned that spot on the second line. Now listen, to stay there, he has to continue putting up performances like that. No, I'm not anticipating Sherwood getting 2 points per night. That would easily have him breaking the all-time franchise record by mid-season. Wouldn't that be great to cover and a spectacular story? I'm not talking about the number of points. I'm talking about the way he went about it, the way he went into the corner hard, the way he was hard, the way he was forechecking hard, and the way he was back-checking, and the way he was just skating. He was playing to make sure he doesn't lose that spot on the second line, and I want to give those guys another opportunity tomorrow. I was thinking Sherwood might change out with Tomasino, but now I'm not so much thinking that. I think Sherwood earned his spot tomorrow and another opportunity to play, but I'll talk about line combinations here in just a second. You got to talk about Nino Niederreiter, big signing by the Nashville Predators. It was a recruiting pitch by the captain, and it was a big signing by the GM, David Poyle. He was feisty. He had a goal out there, and he did exactly what you would expect him to do. You've watched him play against the Nashville Predators for years, and he has always been a pain in the ass, extremely hard to play against, and today, no different. As a Nashville Predator, if he continues to play that consistent and that type of performance, and you know he's only going to get better as he gets more acclimated to the team and his teammates, I think Nino Niederreiter is going to be a great signing. Speaking of a great addition to the team, Ryan Mcdonough. The word smooth is what comes to mind. There was one play that just absolutely stands out in the first period where he just took a player to the outside on the zone entry, took him right to the half wall, put a check on him, took him down in the corner, took the puck and skated right out the backside and started the zone exit. He is incredible to watch every shift as a defenseman. He is just smooth and professional, and he is always in the right spot. And I think, again, Mcdonough is a huge addition. Considering the subtractions from the team, the additions of Niederreiter and Mcdonough, I think, are going to be incredibly special for this Nashville Predators team. Cole Smith, you got to say congrats. First point in the NHL. He's had a couple opportunities with the Nashville Predators now, but he hasn't stuck to this point. today, that may have started to change. He looked good in this game. You got to give him congratulations for his first NHL point. The fourth line, tough, fast, and impactful. If that's the role, I asked in the season preview, what is the identity? What is the role of this fourth line going to be? Well, if you're going to tell me Smith, Glass, and Tolvanen are going to be tough, fast, and impactful every game, every night, every shift, I'm ready to sign up for that for 81 more games. Again, great job by this newly configured young fourth line. Lineup changes, I've mentioned it already a couple of times. What do I think? Well, I think that Burrow is going to be out for tomorrow. He had a fight in today's game, probably swelled his knuckles up just a little bit by the looks of it, and he's not going to be in every single game. Burrow is probably going to play in the tougher lineups that are expected, and Luzon is probably going to be the player that rotates in and out. So I expect Burrow out. I expect Luzon in. And forwards, I sat and I thought about this. So do a couple of thought exercises on this one. How do you sit a player after a team game like that? Early in the first period, the Preds took a couple of penalties and they gave up a goal against. But after that, they tightened things down and they played a really good team game. This is the first game of the season. I don't usually say things like played a really solid team game this early on, because normally there are components that are all over the place. There are alignments that are all out of configurations. But the forward grouping today, first line through fourth line, I thought that everybody played really good. So I actually expect John Hines to roll the same lines at forward tomorrow as he did in game one. So I expect change in net, of course. I expect one change at D, and I expect the forwards to remain the same. And that would be unfortunate for some of these other players who traveled all the way over here and looking to get a chance to play in the Global Series and have such a special moment. But the NHL is usually a very, very tough business to be a part of. The Nashville Predators had a really great team game today, and I think it's going to be hard for the coaching staff to look at that and say, who do we take out of that lineup? Glass, Cole Smith, Tolvanen, all on the sheet today. All played very good. Sherwood led the team in scoring today. You're not taking any of your normal top six forwards out. You're not taking any of your top 4D out of the game. So who do you change when it comes to this? If you have opinions on that and you think there should be some changes, hit us up on social media. Let us know. You can find us on all of those platforms, and we're up for the discussion. We're always up for the discussion. I don't think there's any changes, though. Let us know what you think. Strong Style Fitness is another great partner here of the Renegades of Puck, and I sure do appreciate Strong Style Fitness for jumping in the trenches with the Renegades of Puck. You can find out more, strongstylefit.com, or social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. If you came to the Renegades of Puck Welcome Back Hockey Cookout a couple of weekends ago, Strong Style Fit was out there and led some Renegades through an early morning stretch out there on the field at Charlie Daniels Park. Is always up for helping people. So a trainer that offers her expertise completely for free on YouTube. Over 150 videos there for you to go ahead and get yourself motivated and get yourself moving, get yourself into shape. And it's for people of all levels. Don't think just because you haven't worked out before that this is not a service for you. This is the service for you. I know about the results because I've seen it, I've experienced it for myself, and I know plenty of other Renegades that have as well. StrongStyleFit.com. We sure do appreciate Tracy over at Strong Style Fitness for jumping in the trenches and sponsoring and partnering with the Renegades of Puck. It's time to talk to my numbers guy right here. Sean C. Smith is out of the box this weekend, and Mosh is going to be back for tomorrow's episode, wrapping up the entire weekend. So we're going to go straight to Brian Baston from ontheforecheck.com. He's got the charts you need to see, the numbers you need to know. He's doing an incredible job all day of live coverage there on social media. You should definitely be following him on Twitter at Brian Baston. He does incredible work. He's going to talk to you about today's stats, today's numbers. He runs the Renegade Analytics desk, and it's time for Brian Baston from ontheforecheck.com to talk.
Thanks a lot, Charlie. Brian Baston here at the Renegade Analytics desk, and it is good to be back in the saddle for this season on this episode. And again, the Renegades of Puck are here for you all season long. After every game, you can come here, you can listen to us, watch us on all these type platforms. So make sure you do that, because we've got a lot of stuff to talk to you about. Now, for those of you who've been with us for a while now, at least since I joined on, you know that it might be a different season this year. But of course, I'm going to start off by talking about something I usually talk about quite a bit throughout the season, but this time it's good news. So tonight's one big stat is about shot quality. Now, again, usually I'm coming to you to talk about this. Preds are taking too many point shots, and so it's low quality shots. Not today. In their season opener against the Sharks, against the Sharks. They outdid the San Jose at high danger chances for. They had 14 to San Jose's 8 at 5-on-5 and 19 to San Jose's 11 at all strengths. Now, we talk about this, high quality shots. Usually that just means it's something that's close to the net, or maybe it's something that happens on a breakaway or after a steal, takeaway, something like that. But in practice, how does a coach like John Hynes translate things like that into his game planning for, a game like this? Now, this is the first game of the year, but it's very obvious that John Hynes and his coaching staff did their homeworks on the San Jose Sharks, including, and especially, their goaltender James Reimer and where he suffered last season. As you can see right here, this is a visualization that I developed about a year and a half ago, and really been working on tuning this up. But what this shows for each of these goaltenders here, this is James Reimer. It shows at what angles are they allowing more shots, and what is their goals above or below expected. So as you can see here, James Reimer on his right side, he's averaging about four less goals saved than expected. So he's doing worse in that area, and that's something that the Predators could easily pick up on. So how did that translate to the game? Well, we already know that they had a lot of high quality shots, but they also had they're very picky about where they took those high quality shots. So now let's look at the shot map at 5-on-5 for the Nashville Predators. Right there, right side, close up to the net, all right in a row. It's like they were made to fit on that chart that I made at the end of last season for about James Reimer. John Hynes identified that there was a lot of opportunity with Reimer, both close up around the net in the crease, as we saw with multiple deflections. I think Philip Forsberg himself had at least 4 shots on goals that were done off of tips. He was really close to scoring on those too, but all high quality shots. But they really made sure to focus on that right side where they knew they could beat James Reimer, and he has struggled historically. And this is something that, again, there's a little bit of advanced stats in this thing, but this is something that somebody who, like me, who works at the spreadsheets and looks at charts and stuff, they can work with a coaching staff to identify these areas, to identify where their opponents may be weak and to exploit that. And the Nashville Predators actually did that to perfection today. Now, obviously, we know throughout the first period, Nashville got to a hot start, but quickly got outshot. But a lot of that had to do with the penalty kill. They were on the penalty kill twice in the first period. And if you take out the shot, if you only look at 5-on-5, the only time that the San Jose had more shot attempts than Nashville in the entire game was on their first 2 shots. After that, Nashville at 5-on-5 controlled shot possession. And that's a good thing because, again, a lot of times you see, was Nashville taking a whole lot more shots because they're just more dominant, or was San Jose taking more shots because they were behind? But here they were fairly even throughout the game, and by the end, I think it was 32-31 at the end of the game as far as shots on goal. So Nashville was very good about the shots that they selected. Look at San Jose's, and you can see that a lot of their shots were focused further out, and they were getting lower quality shots, even though they shot just as much as the Nashville Predators. Nashville Predators were expected to have 4.5 expected goals per natural stat trick, while the San Jose Sharks were expected to have 2. So that just highlights that, one, UC Saros did a great job after that first goal. He did a wonderful job shutting down, especially in that first period, even though things cooled down for the rest of the game. But they were also very selective with how they did these things and how the Nashville Predators approached this game against James Reimer. And again, the data, the eye test, they can work together. And in fact, the eye test and analytics, they are not as good alone as both of them are together combined. Analytics are just another tool in the toolbox for an NHL head coach or coaching staff to use. And today was a perfect example of that. And that is today's one big stat. Back to you, Charlie.
He is the one and only Brian Baston from ontheforecheck.com. He runs the Renegade Analytics desk. He's got the charts you need to see, the numbers you need to know. And please give him a follow over there on Twitter at Brian Baston. You can also find him on Instagram, and I think he's on TikTok as well. I'm still learning my way around the environment, so we'll get there and we'll figure it out. You know who's helping me figure those things out, though? And this is really critical and important. Stripe Digital Solutions. If you run a small business or a small operation or whatever project you're trying to do, there is no such thing as not having a digital component to that project. So when you need the help, you call Stripe Digital Solutions. That's what I did. Stripe Digital Solutions can be found at stripedigitalsolutions.com. Also, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, very easy to find. Great, incredible sponsors of the show. Stripe Digital Solutions maintains renegadesofpuck.com, has helped build my social media platforms and my branding, and has done simply an incredible job of helping, advising, and helping me and teaching me all of these different things that you need to know to be successful in the modern age of doing business. Stripe Digital Solutions can do the same to help you. I encourage each and every one of you to go check them out and learn more for yourself at stripedigitalsolutions.com. Besides the Nashville Predators playing in the Global Series over in the Czech Republic against San Jose Sharks, something else very cool surrounding this event has been going on back here locally. And for Preds fans who don't have the opportunity to see these games live or in person, didn't get the chance to travel, there is an experience that is beyond just sitting at home and watching it on your computer or watching it on your TV, and that is going to the IMAX Theater. This is such a cool thing that has been done in partnership with the Nashville Predators in the Global Series, and we had a couple of our Renegade correspondents at the IMAX Theater, and I am so excited to hear what they experienced out there. Everybody is talking about it. It was an otherworldly experience, and I'm being told it might be the future of viewing parties for the Nashville Predators. I'm sure Sean Henry, the president of the Nashville Predators, can make that happen as soon as he wants. So this was their experience on the front lines at the IMAX Theater watching the Global Series and their reactions afterwards.
All right, we just got done with the Global Series IMAX experience. You know, pretty cool overall. You know, it's really nice to see things on the big screen, and like, I think it was a great way to see such a special experience.
Especially with how little notice we had going into the process, maybe a week and a half that this was even going on. So appreciate that you were even able to go with me for this one Friday afternoon at 1 o'clock. But hey, we made it work. We had a couple dozen other people with us, mostly people who look like they may have been playing a little hooky, but we're not judging. Not at all.
No, especially because I did the same thing. I think the crowd, started off really strong. As the game kind of progressed, it kind of lulled a little bit, but at the end of the game, everybody brought the jam again and celebrated the big Preds win.
And I will say that it was really cool to see that off season, it seemed like everybody was just ready for it to start. So I think that's why that energy was there. There was no pregame or postgame coverage. It immediately ended shortly after they put Back to the Studio, and it started almost right before the national anthem. The lighting situation was also very interesting. There was no house lighting whatsoever. So have your phone's flashlight ready. Yeah,
absolutely. And I think that also kind of played into the crowd feel, because I mean, there were a couple times you got a recliner, I've got beer, I've got food. I was ready for a nap during some of those intermissions. So, and I actually saw a couple people napping. So, it kind of changed it. People kind of had to go past the, oh, you're not supposed to talk in a movie theater. And, as things kind of went along, it got better. So, overall, pretty good experience. There definitely are, I wish that we probably could have had the pre and post coverage as well as a little bit more notice, but, I'm also coming for the Saturday show. I'm very excited about it. And Ulti, we got to bring the jam tomorrow so that we can kick this first game weekend off. So hope to see a lot of you guys there on Saturday, and but really good start to the season so far.
Absolutely.
Now, is that a way to start a season? What? 4 goals. Almost completely unanswered. Yeah, we gave one to the kid who's from Prague. Good job, Hurdle. Feed the puck. Feed the puck. Feed the puck. Feed the puck. This team is built for physicality, and it's built to score. We proved it clearly today. Game 1, statement 1. And welcome to the Predators, Kiefer Sherwood and Nino Niederreiter. Love it already. Love it already. Can't wait to see what the rest of this season has in store. Don't forget, Renegades, we still have huge news coming up on bonus trips and hockey and coverage and more people being added, more Renegades being added. Stay tuned. Make sure you get on board. I'll be here. I want you to be here too. And I will see each and every one of you tomorrow at IMAX in Cool Springs as we do Game 2 Renegade style. Let's make sure we show them it wasn't a fluke today, that the fish are still biting and the predators are still feeding. Let's go.
That was the Ulti IMAX experience, the Ultimate Predator getting things done and getting us reactions from the IMAX theater where the Nashville Predators were on the big screen at the IMAX theater. What an incredible opportunity with a 1 p.m. local start time to get a chance to go out and experience the game in such an atmosphere and such an environment. All right, before we head out, one more thing I want to tell you about: Ships and Trips to Vegas. This is a website I need you to book, and I need you to go ahead and check out all of the information. There's so many details and so much information. I need you to just go there and look at it for yourself. Shipsandtripstravel.com. That's ships, N, the letter N, tripstravel.com. The Preds road trip, room and game ticket, all the information. Spots are starting to fill up for the Vegas road trip. Nashville Predators are at Vegas on New Year's Day of 2023. That's right, coming up this New Year's Eve. The Renegades of Puck and Ships and Trips Travel will be in Vegas to celebrate New Year's Eve, and then at the Preds and Golden Knights game the next day. We have everything worked out for you, and it's the only way you're going to get to experience something like this. New Year's Eve in Vegas, the Nashville Predators. It's a once-in-a-lifetime road trip, and the Renegades of Puck are going to be there hosting it with Ships and Trips Travel. We sure hope that you can join us. Reserve your rooms, reserve your spots, and remember, it's the perfect gift for somebody who loves hockey, wants to get out of town. It's the perfect idea. Take your significant other on the road trip of a lifetime to Vegas this New Year's Eve and New Year's Day for the Nashville Predators at the Golden Knights. I am so excited about our partnership with Ships and Trips Travel. I'm going to be telling you a lot more about them, but please get that website in your browser and check out all the details, all the information for yourself. And once you read up on it, you figure out that's exactly what I want to do. I want to be in Vegas with the Renegades of Puck. Go ahead and make your reservation. You can do that right now. And there are some other big plans coming up. As a matter of fact, you might just be able to figure out what our next big plan is once you go to the website at Ships and Trips Travel. There might just be a little clue hidden for you right there. So please go check them out. I sure do appreciate each and every one of you jumping in the trenches with the Renegades of Puck today. Operation number 662, a rousing success. Brian Baston in the trenches, the IMAX Ulti experience, and we will have the rest of the Renegades of Puck back tomorrow for quick reactions on episode number 663. That is going to be wrapping up the global series and the back-to-back with the San Jose Sharks. I'll be right here anchoring it from the bunker, and we'll have Mostradamus, Brian Baston, and others back in the trenches to talk all about it. Give us the support, renegadesofpuck.com, all our social media platforms, all of our podcast platforms. We're turning it around quicker than anybody else possibly can. We'll have all of these shows up and posted in just a short little bit. Again, we appreciate each and every one of you. Give us a follow on social media. Spread those links around. Give us a little bit of love. A brand new season, and we're looking to up the game a little bit. So we sure do appreciate each and every one of you. For all of the Renegades Puck, I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier. Sorry about Casual Friday, but we had a quick turnaround, and I just didn't feel like going and digging a jersey out. Stick taps, love and respect, Renegades. I'll see you tomorrow afternoon.